Maybe he was lurking in the bushes and saw her go in. I don't know.
Pretty sure he did it.
Shh. Tell me the story.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the podcast. If you have any feedback, suggestions, or you just want to say hi, drop us an email at chalkoutlinepodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening, and if you're really feeling frisky, leave us a rating. Really helps us out. Now, on to the episode.
Should we talk about murder?
Maybe.
Who's first?
Do you want to go first?
I don't know.
You look like you want me to go first.
I just don't know if I would do better first or last, because last time I feel like I did really poorly. So this time I'm going to do really well, I think.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I mean, I'm pretty excited about mine.
Is yours actually, like, spoiler alert, satanic?
And there's a little bit of a cult to it.
Mine's
Why?
not so much.
Oh.
There was, like, one, like, thought process that it could be related.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, why did you bring that up?
I don't know. That was the theme.
Was it the theme?
I thought it was in my head. I feel like you said, how do you feel about a satanic, like, murder thing?
I said, like, potentially. So, like, there's theories surrounding both of ours, okay?
Okay. I heard what I wanted to hear.
Okay. So, mine is, like, I don't know how to name it. That just is always referred to as Who Put Bella in the Wych Elm.
It sounds like a nice little story.
It is a nice little story, but it's, a mouthful when you try and, like...
Say it again.
Who put Bella in the Wych Elm?
What's a Wych Elm?
It's a tree. I have a picture of it. It's like the stereotypical, like... Hold on. Check this out. See? It's like...
It looks like every other tree I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm not a tree person.
Except for the other trees in the picture.
But I believe this is the kind of tree that is in The Conjuring. But you don't watch scary movies.
I've seen that. I literally don't remember a single thing from it, though. I think I saw it in the movie theater, and I'm sure I didn't pay attention.
I mean, it's a great movie. But
is it?
The only thing I can think of is, like, this branch here just looks really good to hang yourself off of.
I was thinking, I'm sure that's higher than what I think it is, since I'm not in the picture, that I could climb that tree and get to maybe the second branch, and then get too scared, and then get down.
I think it's a pretty huge tree. Like, look at the surrounding trees. Like,
those
look
are
at
baby
that.
trees.
Yeah, but still.
So I can't climb the tree.
I mean, I'm not saying that you can't.
No, I probably can't. I'm not good at climbing trees. I get too frightened once I get up too high. That's not even high.
I have other fun pictures to show you while I'm
telling
telling my
story. Go in the
story.
woods sometime with Ryan and watch him climb trees. Because he's getting old now, and he hurts himself every time. And one time I was in the woods with him and his dad, and he just starts climbing the tree. His dad's like, he always just does that, blah, 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 blah. And we're all pretty much ignoring him. So then he just jumps out of this high point of the tree and naturally injures himself.
Wow.
Because he wanted attention. And it was funny.
Did it work? I mean, you're talking about it on a podcast after the fact, so it definitely worked.
I think he's funny. I can't help it.
All right. Well, okay.
All right. So you first.
So I'm going first. Okay. So.
Ladies first.
Yep. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. It's 2020.
No, it's actually April 18th, 1943.
Oh, excuse me.
I actually practiced this. Worcestershire, England.
Oh, I thought you were just going to be like, I practiced like reciting my podcast notes and I was about to insult you. But good job. I would never practice that. I would just see what comes out of my mouth.
I mean, I'm pretty sure every person I've encountered says that word differently.
Worcestershire. No, I don't even know.
You see? Okay.
I'll shut up.
More specifically, Hagley Woods, which is a part of Hagley Estates.
Where is this?
Which it's in England.
I'm moving there.
Okay. Which Hagley Estate is, private land owned by, I believe it was a baron at the time. I don't know.
Now I sound too poor to go there.
Probably are too poor.
Okay.
But if you're these 4 teenage boys
I'm not.
in 1943 that were trespassing in Hagley
Sounds
Woods.
up my alley.
Yeah. Except they were poaching. They were looking for like rabbits or birds.
I'll bring Kevin with me.
Because they were all poor and they were like, our family's going to starve, so it's up to us.
Okay.
You know,
I don't
I
see the problem
never had that
yet.
train of thought whenever I was a teenager.
Well,
but
this is the 40s.
that's true. So one of them, named Bob Farmer, he spotted this famous witch elm. I don't think it was famous at the time.
I think it's the one I'm looking at on your computer.
I'd like to think that it is. That's why I pulled that picture
That
up.
looks like America, not England.
You can tell that by trees.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was like, hey, I think there's probably a bird's nest up there and we can
Sure.
take the eggs of the baby birds and eat them.
No.
I don't know if that was a train of thought, but that's what they were looking for, was a bird's nest. But instead, he crawled up the tree, climbed rather, not crawled.
Yeah, who does
He
that?
looked down into the hollow of the tree and he found a human skull.
That's kind of cool.
That's not a bird's nest.
Like, if you found a severed head, no, I'd probably throw up on it. But a skull?
I mean, at one point, it would have been a severed head.
Yeah, but if I didn't see that,
Because
then
I'm pretty
fine.
sure okay, you're going to find
No,
out.
I'd probably scream if I saw a skull. I should clarify.
Probably. So the eye sockets were empty, but there was still a little tuft of hair on the top of it.
That would be the freaky part.
Yeah, and crooked teeth. I actually have a picture of the skull that they found. How's that? Eh? I don't know what all that is. I think it's just gunk.
That's what I'm distracted by.
I think it's just dirt and grime and maybe some moss. Because it looks like a plant or something is growing out of the eye socket.
I don't know. I feel like I'm seeing a spider.
Which is pretty... Why would you say that? That's awful.
Just whatever that black thing is by the eyeball, the eye socket.
Okay.
It's just reminding me of spider legs.
Okay, so the important thing is they didn't take the skull out. They were like, oh shit, let's get out of here. And they all agreed not to say anything. Since they were trespassing, they didn't want to get in trouble. But
I guess.
Tom Willits was a little bitch and told his parents.
I like that name.
Tom Willits?
Tom Willits. I'm going to name a kid that.
Tom Willits.
I'm going to be like, what's this child's last name? Willits? Is that the father's name? No. Okay.
Is it your last name? No. So obviously his parents just alerted the police right away. Police went and roped off the area. Outside of the tree, they found bones scattered. And whenever they tried pulling the skull up out, they found an entire skeleton.
Go figure.
And the hand was missing. So all the bones scattered around the tree were of the missing hand. Which comes into play later with one of the occult theories.
Okay.
If that's your fancy. Nearby, there was an imitation gold ring and small blue shoes. On the skeleton were still bits of clothing, which looked like a striped cardigan sweater, a cloth skirt, and a light blue belt.
I don't think I like that wardrobe choice, but okay.
Okay. And to make things worse, there was fabric stuffed in her mouth.
Well, she's
So-
probably screaming. We probably tried to shut her up.
Probably. But, okay. Then, medical examiner Professor James Webster examined the body and concluded that she was approximately 35 years old. They're really fascinated with her teeth. She had irregular upper teeth.
Irregular?
Irregular. You can actually see it there, like her teeth are sticking out.
Okay.
A decent amount, but I don't know what
I don't normally know
dental
what a
care-
skull with teeth look like without the skin and the face, you know?
I mean,
I don't look at skulls that often.
that's fair. But
I mean, it looks like they're like... Nah, I mimicked it with my face. People can't hear that, you know? I don't know. I feel like I'm seeing an overbite and I have that. So is that my skull? I don't know.
we'll find out one day. I mean, you won't, but why do you keep doing that?
I'm mimicking it. Just make a spider come out of my eyeball and call that me.
Okay, that's how you get me to leave the room. A spider out of the eyeball.
I like this kind of
Now I'm
power
just thinking
I
that
have
there's
right now.
like a spider egg sac in your eyeball, and one day it's gonna hatch.
You've gone too far.
Okay.
I just feel weird now.
All right. So back on track. Apparently, she had light brown hair. She was only 5 feet tall, which she fit inside of the trunk of a tree. So go figure.
I mean, I'm not that much bigger. But there is something funny about only being 5 foot tall.
No, all right.
I'm average. It's fine.
Analysis says that she had given birth once in her life, and she was dead around 18 months at this point. So she's kind of just hanging out. Now, in July of 1941, so that's like 2.5 years before, there were reports of screams coming from Hagley Woods. It just said by a businessman and a teacher. So I really don't think they cared at that point because nothing was found. They probably didn't even investigate, considering it was private land.
Sure.
The medical examiner was like, I can't imagine this is an accident because a person wouldn't be able to crawl in there. Also,
fair.
He did note that if she was killed, she had to be killed close by to the tree because they had a hard time removing the skeleton. And like when the body was whole, they would have had to put it in there before rigor mortis set in. So it was a tight squeeze. So someone had committed the crime like right at the tree. Maybe it was like they knew that hollow was there and they intended to stuff the body in. Or maybe they just got really lucky.
Idea.
I don't know.
They were probably trying to climb the tree and then they're like, oh, it's hollow.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe I should try and kill someone and see if they fit in here.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to solve the problem here. The murder.
Okay. So the police are like, hey, this girl has messed up teeth. Let's like contact all the dentists, which were all contacted. They like tracked records and they didn't find anything.
Well, if her teeth were messed up, wouldn't you think back then that she wasn't going to the dentist?
I mean, I don't know what dental care was like in the 40s.
Me neither.
But
I'm sure not everyone got braces in middle school, so.
I mean, no. No, I didn't. Every missing person file was checked, which was over 3,000. No matches were found. So they went back to the scene and started looking for, more items, and they started looking into the items that they did find. The biggest item of interest were the shoes, which were made. Mm-hmm. There was only like a couple dozen pair made by a small shoemaker, and they all traced them back to a small market stall in Dudley, which is by Birmingham. I think it's close by, No. At that time, I think it was fairly close by because your life was pretty much centered in one small area. And at this point, the case was kind of forgotten about for about 6 months because of, the war. Kind of overshadowed everything for a while.
That's fair.
Until late December 1943, the infamous quote of this whole case appeared on the side of a house in Old Hill. It said, "Who put Lubella down the Wych Elm?" And they were like, excuse me? Because this is the first time anyone's ever mentioned a name when it comes to this girl. Over the next few months, the graffiti would change as it popped up on different items around the area. And it went from "Who put Lubella down the Wych Elm" to "Who put Bella in the Wych Elm," spelled WITCH. And then it evolved to its final state, which is "Who put Bella in the Wych Elm," WYCH, which is how that tree is actually spelled.
Uh-huh.
So really, like, the case just dies there. So the rest of it is just theories. So
there's no solution.
It is unsolved.
I'm gonna solve
this. And
case.
It is just dead right there.
Okay.
So they're not sure if it's just someone that was like, hey, this was a neat story and it got forgotten about. And someone tried, like young kids tried to get interest back in it. Or if it was the person that did it was taunting the police. Who knows? But the biggest theory is an occult ritual killing. The pioneer of this theory was Professor Margaret Murray. And she was the one that noted about the black magic ritual Hand of Glory, which she said was... I looked up Hand of Glory. It didn't seem to quite match up. But the hand was cut off and the fingers are spread around the tree. that she was basically entombed in. But the Hand of Glory, from what I found, was if someone committed a crime, especially a murder, they would cut the hand off that did the deed, quote unquote, did the deed. Or if they didn't know, it was the left hand, because for some reason the left hand is the sinister hand. I don't understand it. Then they would take hair and fat from the person's body that they cut the hand off of. They would make a candle out of the fat.
No.
Use the hair as wicker. And the hand would then be like pickled. And it would hold the candle. All right? And this whole ritual was supposed to be like, if you hold it and it's lit, anyone that you come across and you like point it at them, it would immobilize them. It seems like a far stretch for this case.
It kind of sounds like a fake story that my friend's dad used to tell us, like on Halloween, to scare us as children outside at the campfire, and then I would probably cry. Ew.
There's a one of these hands that's on display.
That looks like a right hand.
You're not that is a right hand. So it can be a right hand if they know that a murder was committed with the right hand. Like if you cut someone's throat and you're holding the knife in your right hand.
So that's not this person's hand.
No. This is just a hand of glory.
Okay.
So I also forgot to show you.
The pinky's like up.
Say what?
See, it's like up.
I mean, maybe it's in England
Sometimes
and they're just
pinkies
fancy.
do like weird things though. Like mine, they aren't double jointed or anything, but like
just by default, they're just doing weird things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Me and that right hand there.
I forgot to show you. This is the Hagley Monument.
Why do I care about that?
This is the message that was...
I care now.
This is the graffiti that's on that monument.
That's very neat graffiti.
Yeah.
They should have made it a little scarier if they wanted it to be solved, though.
I mean, I guess.
Maybe pour some, like, fake blood on there, you know?
Maybe some real blood?
No.
No? Okay. Whatever. Okay, so also to support this occult ritual killing, Hagley Woods had like local folklore. People were being like, oh, there's black magic there. But I think that was just poor people hating the rich people that live there.
I don't know. Could there have been black magic, maybe?
Is there such thing as black magic?
Don't try and tell me there's not.
I don't know what to say right now. Also, close by were the plants, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but belladonna or deadly nightshade and witch hazel, which those two plants are locally assumed to be related to like black magic and occult stuff. I don't know. I think it's just people being weird.
I'm just thinking of someone who's not a witch, but she would grow like little plants and stuff when she lived out in the country, and she was just very like hippie.
Yeah.
And so all their neighbors thought they were witches, and she was like, yes, I am a witch, and tried to scare them and stuff then, because she's like, they already believe that I'm one.
You just got to lean into it sometimes.
That's what she did. It's an inspiration.
Good for her. Okay, so I don't really know. I just read this possible connection. I don't know anything else about it. It seems like a far-fetched connection to make.
I don't know. So far, it's my favorite because it's the only one I've heard.
But possible connection to a witchcraft murder in 1945 of a 74-year-old Charles Walton that was stabbed and pinned to the ground with his own pitchfork.
Okay. Wait, is that a different thing?
Yes.
Oh.
It's a different thing that they think is
but related
to this. Yes, because it happened in an area that was close by. And also the fact that the body was stuffed into a tree could lean into some black magic kind of stuff. Like it was a sacrifice to nature.
I'm sold. I'm pretty sure that's what this was.
Then, because it's wartime, there's a couple German spy theories. Which I was far less into. It seems a lot more realistic that, you know.
It seems realistic, so you don't like it as much?
It's just boring.
Oh.
I don't believe in the occult stuff, but it's just a lot more fun.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened already.
Okay.
I don't know how you don't believe in that.
All right. Well, okay. Just listen.
Oh,
Whoa.
I can't get it, but that's okay. I don't need it.
Okay. All right. So the first German spy theory, these two publications, the Wolverhampton Express and the Star, received letters from someone calling themselves Anna of Claverley, claiming that she knew the ID of Bella. She claims in an interview with Wilfred Byford Jones that Bella was a member of a German spy ring that was collecting info about munitions factories for future attacks.
You're right. This is boring so far.
Yeah. So this Anna was actually, don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right either, Una Mossop, wife of Jack Mossop, who was a RAF pilot, which is the Royal Air Force, who allegedly witnessed Bella's death. And he witnessed this girl get into a vehicle with a Dutchman and was assassinated, basically. I don't know. It seems possible that it was like, a spy thing.
Yeah.
But that's
I'm
just
not sold.
There's just jumps all over the place.
As if I know anything more about this case.
Yeah.
I don't think Bella would have been into that.
I don't know.
I think she was actually into doing black magic in the woods.
You have a strong personal connection to something. You don't know anything about her besides you didn't like her wardrobe.
Who wears a blue belt?
She had a blue dress on or a blue skirt. I don't know. Don't ask me.
I guess girls weren't as comfortable wearing pants back then because the men were like, "You're a woman."
Whoa, I can't say anything. So the second theory is the same as the first, except for the fact that Bella was drinking in a local pub with these two men, Jack Mossop and Van Ralt. She got drunk and passed out, and they were like, "Let's teach this spy a lesson," and they shoved her into the tree.
Okay, that's a little bit intriguing.
And then she woke up and she couldn't get out of it, so she just died over time.
That's depressing.
That'd be a shitty way to go. This Van Ralt fella, though, no one knows who he is. The only thing that makes this theory a little more interesting is Jack Mossop died in St. George's Hospital before the body of Bella was discovered. And he had mentioned to his caretakers that he suffered from nightmares about seeing this girl's skull in a tree. And he actually suffered a mental breakdown before his death.
Sounds suspicious.
So I don't know. And then there's always the common theme that this lady could have just been a transient and no one cared to ID her. But with her being like 35, she had given birth once. Mm-hmm. So she should have had a child, like a teenage child, if she had it early.
Makes sense.
Unless something happened to their child. You would think like there would be at least that person around.
A way to trace her.
Exactly.
Find her.
But I thought this was like a fun story. The theories are a little wild.
I'm starting to think she was a witch.
I mean, that's the most fun one. I'll give you that. Maybe I just need some convincing that black magic is real.
Just read some of the shitty little witchcraft books that me and other people read.
Do you read them?
I have before for fun.
Oh, okay. Have you ever tried anything?
No.
Are you afraid you're going to summon something?
Sometimes, yeah.
Do they make it convincing?
No.
No? Wait. So you read them
It's
and
just
you're like,
fun.
It's real, but it's not convincing. You're talking all kinds of nonsense right now.
What do? I don't know. Maybe it's because me and my mom used to watch this one show and it was for sure fake. I'm almost positive as an adult it was fake, but it was about like demons and they'd always be hunting you and blah, 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 blah. Not like ghosts.
Wait, what show?
I don't remember what it was called. It was probably on Lifetime or something. They weren't
Interesting.
husband killers, but they were demons.
Okay.
I don't know. And then I'd be like, Mom, let's get a Ouija board. And then she'd be like, no, we can't.
My mom was the same way.
Yeah.
She claims that she messed with the Ouija board once, and then like the next 2 weeks of her life was hell.
So I would like to say I think all of that stuff is fake. But could I be convinced that demons are real and I've summoned one up and it doesn't want to be my friend?
I think what you're trying to say is next podcast is we're doing like a Ouija board seance.
I'll probably cry. Do I want to? Sure.
Well, this is an occult podcast now, so.
We're going to have a guest star who's into witchcraft. She's a little wild.
Oh. Okay.
I'm just talking about Emily. She'd be down.
I figured,
Yeah.
but I didn't
I'm pretty
know
sure
that.
we bonded over like witchcraft and shoes. And then she's like, you want to go hang out in the graveyard? I was like, okay. No, we ate food.
I was going to
and
say
then we walked
something
by
about
the graveyard.
every edgy teenager hanging out in a graveyard, but...
No. These are adults in their 20s.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of sort of adults. So
Okay.
my turn.
Maybe.
You want me to just keep talking nonsense? Might happen. Okay. So I'll tell you about the murder of Arlis Perry.
Okay.
All right. So I don't have much about her life, I guess. The beginnings of her life, I don't know. She was probably just an average person, you know? She was born February 22nd, 1955 in Linton, North Dakota. They moved like a year or so later to Bismarck in North Dakota, which is just like an hour away down the street, you know?
Okay.
So she was there her whole life. Met this boy in high school, Bruce Perry. They got married. That's what you do.
This sounds like a very North Dakota story so far.
I don't know anything about North Dakota. I know it's above South Dakota. There's my knowledge.
Wow.
Top of the country.
Okay.
Like, I
That's all
wouldn't
you
know how
need to
to
know.
imagine what people are like there.
Okay.
This is how I imagine everyone was in like the 50s and 60s. You meet a boy in high school. Okay, we're going to get married.
Yeah.
But Bruce, he was all right. So he moved to California for college. He was a pre-med student at the Stanford University in California.
Good for him.
He was, I believe, 2 years older than her. So she finished school at home and then moved to California with him. I believe, let's see. That was in 1974. When she graduates high school, they get married. She moves to California with him. So she's now 19 years old. He's, I don't know, a few years older, studying pre-med, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So she gets a job because she wasn't going to school at a law firm. But she's the receptionist, you know, just hanging out.
Okay.
They lived on the campus together. Apparently that was the thing.
Interesting.
I don't know. Okay. Just a little bit about her. She was a devout Christian. She was very optimistic, compassionate, kind-natured, trusting of people, and she loved God.
Okay.
Because that could play into theory. I
Mm.
mean, she did die in a church.
Spoiler alert.
I'm getting there. Hold on, coffee. Okay. So I don't know. It said she was murdered on October 12th, 1974. But it seems iffy that she was probably more likely murdered on October 13th. Just early morning, like probably after midnight. Which
Okay.
leads into the next day, but who am I to know? I don't write articles. So, it's like 11:30 at night. Her and Bruce, they had, I guess, walked to the church. That was the Stanford Memorial Church, which I think it was essentially on the university or close by.
Okay.
Not quite sure. I don't live there. Don't care.
All right.
So they somehow are having an argument, and what I read was it was about their car's tire pressure, because that's what you do when you get married. You argue about that shit.
Just kind of argue about the dumbest shit.
You're bored. You're like, all right, let's start a fight. You never check the tire pressure. No, I'm not the man. That's your job. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know.
Whoa.
This was the 70s.
Okay. Keep saying that.
Well, I said it for the 40s, for the 50s,
Yeah.
for the 2020s. Okay. So she's like, I just want to be alone. I'm going to go pray inside the church. You go home. So Bruce goes home. Now, I don't know. Maybe that wasn't her exact wording. Maybe he was like, you stay here and pray. I'll go home. I don't know. But anyways, they were having a little argument. He goes home. She stays at the church alone at night. You would think it's a safe place. But then he said around 3 a.m. he was worried because she still hadn't come home. He ends up going back to the church, but all the doors are locked so he can't get in. So he calls the police and reports her as missing. Because I think he assumes she must not be in there if all the doors are locked.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. So I guess the area they're in is Santa Clara County. So those officers went. They checked the church, but also not really because they're like, all the doors are locked. We can't get in.
The locks are too strong. I'm sorry. This
So
trail runs cold.
So I don't think they do anything that night because they're like, well, it's locked. It must be safe. It's fine. She's not here.
You know, I'm just imagining the guy, the cop.
I'm putting words in their mouth.
He walks
too.
up to the door, jiggles the handle. He can't open it and just goes, not good, not good, not good.
I wish more people were like that. I think the world might be a happier place.
Probably, yeah.
Dumber place, possibly, but I would be laughing all the time.
Yeah.
I might be the only person that finds that guy funny, though. Okay, so the following morning, this is October 13th, Stephen Crawford, he enters the church. He finds her dead body at 5:45 a.m.
Wait, is this a cop?
This is campus security guard.
Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, wait, it's a church on campus.
That's what I think.
Okay.
It didn't ever specify in any of my reading,
Okay.
but it's like the Stanford
I guess it makes sense.
church,
Yeah.
and they're at the Stanford University, and he, in multiple things I read, was a campus security guard at this time.
Okay.
And it was part of his job to check the church, I guess.
Okay.
So I believe it's on campus.
All right.
Don't care.
It's all coming
If I'm
together.
wrong, it's not the first time, I'm sure. Will I admit it? I don't care. I'll say, guess how much I care.
No, guess how much I care.
Okay, so Stephen Crawford, he is a former police officer. They always are. No, that's not true. Just in like the Golden State Killer case. Okay. He said her body, I don't know anything about churches. Her body was found in the church's east transept near the altar.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
I honestly tried to learn what it meant, and I just put a question mark there. Someone smarter than me? Great. Good for you. You understand me. I don't understand myself.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what I have. I don't think I like this part. Her body was found face up with her hands folded over her chest and an ice pick sticking out of the back of her head. That part I can handle.
Okay.
The handle from the ice pick was broken off, and then you could never find the handle. Her body, like there were signs that she was strangled. This part is vague too. I read a couple of different things, but I'm just going to go with what I wrote because I didn't write everything I read. I was like, that one sounds the best. In a bad way. Okay. So she was naked from the waist. Sorry. I don't know why the coffee's making me burp. She was naked from the waist down. A 3-foot long altar candle. No, I don't like this. It was inserted in her vagina.
Oh.
And then there was one place between her breasts. And then her jeans that were no longer on her were arranged in some kind of like diamond pattern on her legs. And some people believe that the way like her body was laid out and with her pants and everything was a pose that formed a pentagram. So people are like, it must have been a satanic ritual.
Interesting. Okay. See, now that's fun. Not
No,
for
the
her.
candles.
But the whole thing is just fun. It paints a picture, and you have to ask the question.
As a woman with these stories, I obsess over too much.
As
When
a
things are
woman.
done
Jesus.
to the vaginas and the boobs, ugh, it just gives me pain.
Listen, but if we were talking about a story...
And then it's like the guy's dick cut off. I'd
Yeah,
be like,
you'd be like...
You probably had it coming.
See?
It's different. Just accept that the women are always right. Okay.
Whatever.
Let me keep talking now.
Okay.
Okay. So naturally they're like, well, we have to talk to Stephen Crawford. He found the body. So he recites his little spiel about his work. He said he locked the church up after midnight, which is after she was reported to have gone in by her husband.
Mm-hmm.
He said he didn't notice any activity inside. He probably didn't check. Maybe. That's what you would maybe assume.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he was lurking in the bushes and saw her go in. I don't know.
Pretty sure he did it.
Shh. Tell the story. He rechecked the doors at 2 a.m. Is it because he's supposed to? I don't know. But they were all still locked. But then this statement was found to be false. I guess they thought that he was lying about rechecking the doors. So he probably was supposed to, but maybe he was busy murdering. Maybe he was busy not doing his job. I don't know. What do campus security police do overnight?
Too busy killing this lady.
And then he said he goes in at 5:45 a.m. to open up the church for the day.
Wait, 5:45. What kind of a psychopath
I
time
bet
is
it
that?
opens at like 6. You know, you got to get there early to let the folks in.
The folks.
If you go to church.
Got to get your prayer hands warmed up.
So he said he went to the west side door and found that it was open and had been forced open from the inside. So all of these people that were like, the doors are all locked. But maybe this was afterwards. I don't know. But this one door was open. Seems suspicious. You
Just
would
a little
think, though, at least Bruce, the husband who's now worried about his wife, even though she annoyed him about the tire pressure, would have checked all doors. So maybe
You would think
at
so.
the time, because she was probably being murdered, it probably was shut and locked, you know?
Yeah.
Don't know. Okay, so what the police found inside, so there was like a kneeling pillow
Yeah.
near her body, and there was semen on it.
Well, naturally.
At the time, though, that's not enough DNA to figure anything out. There was a partial palm print on the candles, but apparently in the 70s, all they could conclude was it didn't match Bruce Perry, the husband, or Stephen Crawford. Two likely suspects. It's always the husband. You're like, well, we got to see if he's a murderer. Or creepy security guard that's not doing his job right.
I guess.
Okay. But they did first assume it was Bruce Perry, probably just with the husband card.
Uh-huh.
But they ruled him out. Probably because of the DNA.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So then there were also a few other murders that had happened around the same time period that seemed kind of similar. Not as, I don't know much about them. The basics I know didn't seem as complicated as like putting candles places and whatnot.
Right.
But the police said they weren't linked anyway to that. But those killings that seemed similar was 15-year-old Margaret Williams. She was raped and murdered. But here's the thing. That one was in Germany on a U.S. base, 1973. But they know the guy that was convicted of it. I don't know how to say his last name. John Gertrude?
Sure.
Okay. It's probably wrong.
I don't know any better.
He would have been, I assume he was a soldier or something in Germany at that time. And then he came back to this area of California.
Mm-hmm.
And he was convicted of that. And then he was convicted of a 17-year-old Girl Scout. I don't have a name or anything. But he raped her. He didn't murder her. I mean, that's still bad, but like, that's probably why he got charged, because she survived. And that was in California around the same time. But then there were these other murders. Sharon, I don't know. Luchese? That doesn't sound right, but it looks like it says Luchese. And I know it's wrong.
We could call her Blue Cheese.
I'm sure this is offensive somehow. So Sharon, she was an attempted murder. She survived. She was 19 at the time. This John Gertrude guy was like a suspect in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Then 21-year-old Leslie Perlov, she was sexually assaulted and murdered. He was suspected in that one, but at the time there wasn't enough like information to charge him. And then 21-year-old Janet Taylor, she was murdered. He was a suspect initially. Again, not enough evidence at the time. But all of these were pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, so maybe it's that guy. But they're like, no, there's no link.
Now, okay. So what made them similar, though? If there wasn't
I think like all the girls were strangled.
Oh, okay. But no ice pick, no.
Not as far as I know. I
stuff.
didn't look into them that much.
Uh-huh.
And like same time period for most of them, except for the girl in Germany. That was a year earlier. In same area, except for the girl in Germany.
Okay.
They're all young women.
Mm-hmm.
Similar, like, the two teenage girls that he was convicted of, but the rest were 19 to 21.
Mm-hmm.
So Arlis Perry was about the same age, was strangled. I don't know. It wasn't that guy, though. They couldn't. I don't know. And he was later charged with the murder of Leslie and Janet, but they come back into play later.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So
they determined 7 people had been in the church that night. So Bruce Perry was there with Arlis. Suspect.
Okay.
Stephen Crawford. Suspect.
Oof.
4 other identified people who apparently are not suspects. I don't have names for them. And then a 7th person that was not identified. A passerby, they call him. Described as a young man. Sandy-colored hair. Not wearing a watch. Medium build. About 5'10". Suspect.
Wait. Not wearing a watch is a defining characteristic.
Someone described him, yeah.
This man was not wearing a watch.
Yes. So whoever this guy is, entered the church around midnight. So they're like suspicious. Fits the time period. I don't know anything about these 4 other people. Okay. So some theories. There was a link to Son of Sam, only because David Berkowitz, Son of Sam, he would like write letters. Oh my God.
We need a burp counter.
I can't help it.
It's
just, I was trying to do them quietly most of when you were talking.
Uh-huh.
But they're just coming out. Okay. So David Berkowitz, he would write these like letters and he would talk about Arlis Perry. Not that he was claiming that like, he murdered her or anything. But he was talking about it and being like, I know a little something. These people, they're bored. They're like, hey, media, write about me in your papers.
That's weird. That's a weird way to get attention.
There was an interviewer from San Jose Mercury News. She went and interviewed him and then was like, no, he has nothing of value about the Perry case. Like, he knows nothing. He's just talking shit. But then there's this other reporter, Mari Terry. He said, I think that's a boy. He said that Berkowitz gave information about the case in 1979 that was helpful. And so whatever that was, it led Terry to go all the way back to North Dakota to talk to Perry's friends. And I don't know. I don't know how this has anything to do with it, but I'm just going to read this information that was all related to Son of Sam somehow.
All right.
Because this is what Terry said. That I guess Arlis Perry, her friend, tried to reach out to them and like looked Bruce Perry up in the phone book for Stanford University. Tries to call. I don't know. There's another Bruce Perry. It's confused. Gives up. Bruce's own mother calls this wrong Bruce Perry too. I don't know. And then Arlis Perry, she's like, this is confusing. Why can't our friends and family find our phone number? How can't they figure it out? So she writes letters back home and was like, here's our phone number. I see the problem here. You guys are all calling someone else. His name is also Bruce D. Perry. And it's ironic. His middle name is Duncan, as if that's the same middle name. I'm assuming. I don't know. Same school. He had just gotten married as well. The only difference is that his wife isn't named Arlis like me. Blah, 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 blah.
That's weird.
So she's like, here's our phone number in the letter.
Okay.
So I don't know why this Terry reporter... I don't know. I guess that was kind of what Berkowitz was saying. He had information about this. About like Arlis Perry's friends calling the other guy. I don't know. And Terry looked into it. Found the little story here. Seemed confusing. What were the odds? Are 2 exact same named people, same age, both just got married at the same university.
Right.
Maybe it's identity theft. I don't know. But that is just not an accurate theory. So,
Okay.
Sam, nothing to do with it. I'm ready now. Okay, here's another theory. The Process Church of the Final Judgment, or just the Process for short. This is
So formal.
related to Satan, don't worry.
Nope. Well, I'm
That's
interested.
what the process is into.
Oh, okay.
So while Arlis was living in North Dakota, you know, she really liked Christianity and God. So she would find these Satanists, these people of the
And
process.
try and convert them.
Yes.
They
'Cause
got tired.
She was optimistic.
I already like this one. They got tired of her shit, took her out.
There's not much to it. Get over it. So there's just a belief that it could have been a retaliation murder. You know, they're like stalking her. They're like, oh, she's moving. We'll just send one of the people from the process to follow her to California. We'll have them stalk her, see what she's doing there, and then get revenge, find an opportunity to murder her. And like, oh, she's going in the church? What a great opportunity to murder her in the place that she loves.
No, that sucks.
Yeah, no, it was bullshit. But here's just a little interesting piece that I read. I don't know how factual this is. But so after she dies, she's buried at home in Bismarck, North Dakota, instead of in California, because, you know, she'd only been there for a short period of time.
Sure.
Just because Bruce was going to school there. He had only been there for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
But she had spent her whole life in North Dakota. And I guess her grave marker had been stolen, and people think it was by the process. Which maybe they did do that.
That might be believable. But them sending someone, what? It's probably a quarter of the way across the country.
Yeah.
Just to, like, stalk someone because they like Jesus and you don't. That seems a little far-fetched.
I agree. So I don't think it was that. I think it's possible if her grave marker was truly stolen, that they were probably like, oh, that's that annoying
For sure.
Christian girl that is always trying to convert us.
Yeah.
Let's piss off our family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And also at the time, though, like whenever that would have happened, they still didn't have any proper leads.
Mm-hmm.
So they may have looked into it a little bit, but clearly it was a dead end for them.
That's fair.
So another theory,
Well, 3. Wow.
just a theory.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Believe what you want. But I have what kind of happened. Okay. So
Get to
remember
it.
that seventh suspect,
Yeah.
not identified?
Yeah.
I don't have his description right in front of me anymore. Sandy hair.
Oh,
Wait,
no, the no watch guy.
Sandy colored hair. Not wearing a watch. Medium build, about 5'10". Young man. Don't forget that part. Okay. So, Arlis got that job working as a receptionist at the law firm.
Uh-huh.
She was still fairly new there. She didn't really know people that well yet. People didn't know too much about her other than she had just got married and was like living with her husband who was going to school. So apparently, before she was murdered, one of her coworkers witnessed her having an argument with a young man
Wow.
who fits that description.
Wow.
Arlis was very shaken up. She was upset when she tried to get back to work, I guess. The coworker assumed it must have been her husband because, you know, she's watching this girl who all she knows about has a husband, but
Right.
not really friends yet, arguing with the man. Seemed kind of strange, but you would be like, it's probably just her husband. But so nothing came out of that with the friend at the time. But
Okay.
she did, or I don't know. They were just coworkers, I guess. I don't think they became friends, but this coworker did then go to the funeral where she met Bruce and was shocked because that was not the man who was arguing with her.
Mm.
And she's like, And then when she heard about that description of the man who entered the church, sandy colored hair,
I think
not wearing a watch.
maybe he was just a little bit of a
Medium
stalker.
build.
I don't know.
I don't know. But the coworker was like, that's what that man looked like. He wasn't wearing a watch.
He was.
I put words in her mouth. I'm sure she didn't say that, but she may have. So. They can't solve the case. So
not
it
good.
stayed open and active for a long time. In 2018,
Yeah.
there's more advanced DNA testing. Go figure.
Wow.
They find you know, like, I don't know. I think it was with the palm print. I'm not sure they still have the semen.
I was going to say, like, you would think they would still have that.
I don't know how that works, but they probably still have the palm print.
I doubt it's just some random guy's semen. You know, probably the guy
I don't think, like, you murder someone, you leave, and then that seventh guy comes in and is like, seems like a good place to jack off.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
There's all kinds of people in the world. Don't judge.
No, I'm going to shame for that one. But now I just thought of a different theory. Oh, whoa. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm making shit up now.
Wait.
Let me just read what I have. Okay, so they find a link now, like a for sure link to Stephen Crawford with the print.
Wait, who's Stephen Crawford?
He was the security guard.
Oh, he's
Who
the
was
guy
like-
that did it all along. In my head.
That's why I shushed you.
Oh. Okay.
So now it's 2018. He's an old guy, you know? He retired from being a security guard. His neighbors, they're like, he's a good guy. He never gave us a problem. He was a military vet. He was a police officer. Those are the best kind of people. But, you know, I don't know what changed between being a police officer to the security guard, but one thing I read was his job was later reduced to an unarmed security guard. So he probably did something frowned upon. And they were like, step down. Here's what's available. Security guard at the university. You don't get a gun.
But he still had access to ice picks and candles. So
Well, sure. I mean, the candles were already there.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, this is only one thing I read. He had stolen art and books from the university.
What a scumbag.
Right? So how much of a good guy could he have been? So in 2018, they're trying to, you know, solve this one, solve some. What word did I just say?
Did you have a stroke?
Yeah. Okay, they're trying to solve Arlis Perry, but they still, at the time, they hadn't solved Leslie Perlove, who I've mentioned, Janet Taylor, and this other one, David Levine.
These other girls that we don't care about.
Well, they're like, it could have been Stephen Crawford, too.
Oh.
Because Leslie was also a student. She was a grad student at the university.
Okay.
David, who wasn't mentioned earlier, he was also a student. And then Janet Taylor, I don't know. She was just strangled. But it seems similar, I guess. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So they speculated at the time that Stephen Crawford could have been related to all of those, including Arlis Perry. And maybe some of them were to, like, lead investigators astray to show that they're not all quite the same. One's more fucked up. One's just like rape and strangle. One's a man, blah, blah, blah.
Maybe he was just trying to find his way, and then he finally perfected his craft.
It's possible, you know? But that John Gertrude guy, or whatever his name is, DNA was able to at least link him to Leslie and Janet. David Levine, I'm not sure what happened to you. I didn't look into you at all because I found it late in my research.
Gotcha.
And it didn't seem related in the end.
Okay.
So.
So.
I'm just reading what I wrote that I didn't just read. Yeah. No, I said it anyways. Okay, so it's now June 28th, 2018. The police have a search warrant for Crawford's home. They go, door's locked. I don't know. I read two things. They got in, and he had already committed suicide before they could arrest him, as if he knew they were coming.
Oh.
And then the other article I read said that once they were like, police, open up. I don't know if they say that. I just know they say that in TV sometimes.
They probably say,
that he
police, open up. They just...
You gotta give them that friendly tone. But the other thing I read, he just shot himself in the head as they came in right in front of them.
That's a power play.
Wow.
You just go out with the, just...
So I don't know, but if he caught on that they were finally linking it to him,
Yeah.
maybe it was most likely him, so he killed himself. I couldn't determine if they've officially closed the case and just assume it's him. I'm sure that's probably what they did.
I don't think they can close the case since he couldn't
be
brought up on trial. I knew it was him all along.
But what if?
But what if? This better be good.
what if that seventh visitor, what if it was really him who did the murder? He escapes. Crawford goes in to check the doors.
Yeah.
Sees this dead chick and was like, I'm going to jack off to that. I'm going to touch this candle real quick. And that's all the DNA. And really, he's just a weird kind of pervert. And then said nothing about it. And then locked the doors. And then played dumb when he found her in the morning.
Wait, where was the handprint? Was it on the candle?
Yeah.
The candle that was in her.
Well, one was in her and one was on her. I'm not sure where the palm print came from.
Okay.
Probably both.
You would assume there'd be a handprint on both of them. They didn't just magically get there.
Exactly.
Okay.
But in other news, Bruce Perry, the husband, he later lives a happier life. He goes on to remarry. He becomes a clinician and researcher in children's mental health. And then he goes into neuroscience, and he's internationally recognized authority on children in crisis. He's a smart guy, apparently.
So what you're saying is he sacrificed his wife to Satan for a good life.
We'll never know for sure because Crawford killed himself.
Son of a bitch.
All over that tire pressure. That's all I have. I would think it's probably the security guy.
Yeah, I think that's likely.
I think if you knew the police were coming to investigate you as an old man and you just off yourself, you had something to do with it.
Well, we had a good run. Just take yourself
Might as
out.
well end it here before I'm on the news.
Yeah.
You know what they do to men in prison?
I bet it's not that bad.
I can only think of inappropriate things to say.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I picked these two subjects because I knew of like a little bit of the occult linking, but I wish I believed in it. I just don't.
I could be convinced for almost anything, probably.
See, now I think it's fun, so I'm all for it.
Satan is a fun time.
Just because it's like a real life horror movie.
Satan is a fun time, but cue Jeb's like double music voice. I can't do it. Not right now, at least.
I can't do it either.
If it just naturally came out, I would.
Yeah.
And then no one would listen to this again. They'd be like, she is having a stroke for sure.
Listen, how many people actually made it this far, though?
I don't know. You haven't informed me of any numbers lately.
That's because every time I say something, you're like, I don't care.
Yeah, because as soon as I hear something bad.
I just won't tell you anything bad.
Okay, great. Keep feeding the ego.
You don't need that.
Exactly.
Well, I don't have anything else.
No.
Okay.
I got nothing. No more burps. That's it.
No more burps? I don't believe that.
No, I'm done.
Okay. Well, until next time.
Okay, bye.